So I will now open up the floor for public
Mayor.
comments on,
If I may, can I make a comment in regards, prior to the public speaking, and I think it may pertain to Pat's question. It's actually on the Home Rule Charter revision referendum question, and that would be question number 1. On a referendum, if the residents would vote yes, the tax office would go away, and we would appoint a treasurer, or the manager would appoint a treasurer. Is that correct?
No, it's an option.
Well,
The elected body has an option to do that.
but the office wouldn't go away.
the right for people to vote for a tax collector would go away if this would pass. Am I correct?
No. What would happen is it would be up to that elected body to have,
When you say that elected body, do you mean council?
it could be 10 years from now, it could be, if this passes, it could be.
It could
it
be
would
the
have to
day
be.
after.
No, Mr. Fulkerson, who is the elected tax
Would finish
collector,
his term.
he would have to finish his term, exactly.
Okay, just for the public's information, though, okay, Mr. Fulkerson finishes his term, then us as a council and you as a manager would appoint a treasurer.
As an option. You could still keep the elected tax collector. Nobody's saying.
Council wouldn't have to do that.
Then why would we even go this route? I mean,
Because that way, if a council in the future decided to change that. That's
so
what a lot
you're
of,
actually taking the ability of the people to vote for a tax collector away, essentially. I mean, we could, if the public votes for this. If they vote yes, they're actually voting to take the position of tax collector away.
It's
In a sense,
In
it's
a-
possible.
you-
I have a question.
Mr. Duncan, I just like, Mr. and-
I just
and
want to
this
clarify
is-
for the
you-
public.
Steve, you're correct. I mean, it is a philosophical question, and it's good that you bring it up, because it is a philosophical question with respect to what the public, would want. I mean, and it's an option. If it does pass, the public can lobby the council not to do it, even if it does pass. And then if it does pass.
When you
let's
say lobby, that wouldn't go to another election, they'd be
Well, no,
here in the audience?
they could come up here and if you had deliberations on it in a work session, whether to do it or not, after Pat, if his term is up and he decides not to run again, and then you talk about it at a work session to do it, you obviously, the residents can come up here and say, no, even though that referendum passed, we don't want you to do this.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted the public to be aware that regardless if Pat runs again or whoever, essentially, we're taking away their right to vote for a tax collector. In so many words.
In so many, Steve, you are correct.
Okay. Okay, that's the point I wanted to try and get across, and I'm sure Pat may have something to say about it.
My question is, why would it benefit the municipality to do that?
well, that's what the committee, the Home Rule Charter.
I understand.
Committee presented to us.
But how would the
Based-
municipality benefit from doing that?
I believe this is what a lot of communities do, that they do not have elected tax collectors.
Well, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking, how does the municipality benefit from it?
Tom, again, it's a philosophical question. And as the mayor has said, other home rule charter communities. Communities have
right.
done this.
That doesn't mean we have to do it, though, right?
No,
Okay.
you're correct.
And my big thing is, if it's not broke, why fix it? I mean, we have a beautiful tax office here. The people walk in, they're greeted, they have great staff.
Well, that wouldn't change. I mean,
I just don't understand it.
well, just because there would, if a future council would elect or decide to not have an elected tax collector,
We'll possibly let the next future council bring this to Home Rule Charter reservation
Yeah, we're not going to do it.
referendum.
but if they were to decide to appoint somebody, they could appoint somebody even in-house that's current staff.
So
Which
I
would
guess
not
my
be any
point,
additional costs involved with that either.
I guess my point to the public is, if you vote yes,
There's a possibility.
hopefully you understand this a little more. If you vote no, it stays the same.
Okay.
Certainly.
Mr. Mayor, may I?
I'm not done yet, Rick.
Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't say nothing.
Mr. Wilson, you can
I'm still
finish
waiting
your-
for the answer. How would the municipality
Okay, all right.
benefit?
And again, there's no right or wrong, Tom.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
In that, other communities have done it where You have appointed somebody that is a CPA, that has an MBA,
Right.
that is well-versed in financial
I
matters.
understand that.
Now, that is not taking anything, Mr. Fulkerson
No,
is a CPA.
no.
Now, there are not many elected tax collectors like Pat who are CPAs.
Right.
Now, a lot of times, through, well, even in my experience, that you get a poor tax collector in the position.
Right. Well, we don't have,
Elected, and we don't, and that's true, we don't have that. You get a poor tax collector, that is one of the impetuses of something like this starting in a home rule community,
okay.
so.
But it still doesn't answer my question.
Well, the benefit, if you're asking for the benefit, I mean, the benefit would be to ensure that we always have a well-qualified tax collector. Once again, we currently do.
Based, okay, I
Being very
understand that.
clear.
In my 40 years of being a resident in Monroeville, I don't recall us ever having a bad one.
There's some communities.
Maybe we
that
haven't, but.
Yeah, okay, I understand that part. But would the municipality benefit financially by doing that?
Financially,
Yes.
You made it part of somebody's job.
I couldn't, I could not give you that answer.
Let's
right
say, for
now.
example, that you would do away with the tax collector and go to, let's say, Josie. She would be responsible for that program.
Correct.
Okay. Now, so therefore, would we save the commission? Would the municipality receive the commission for that? For what the tax office does?
I'm not sure, Tom, I understand you. The commission for what?
The
But
fund, I think the
Does the
fund,
tax office, do they receive a commission for collecting municipal taxes?
Oh, you mean for other municipalities?
No, no, just for
Fees.
Monroeville. I'm just-
Receive fees and- They receive fees.
No, I have,
We can't hear Mayor.
they give me a.
Hold
not a
on.
salary.
Oh, you,
Hold
okay,
on
you
one
get a
second,
salary.
Pat, till
No,
you
I
come
don't
up.
get a salary.
Pat, hold up 1 second
Yeah,
till
I
you
know.
come up. Or, I'm sorry.
Because
Go ahead.
this is what I'm gonna be talking about in a few minutes, so.
Mr.
Yeah.
Fultz, hold that thought for 1 second, if you would.
Yeah.
My very last question would be, would we also still collect the delinquent taxes?
Sure.
We would
Which
still-
we just praised the tax office for doing such a great job at.
Right. We would still maintain the employees, or, right, as well as, the only difference would be that it would be an in-house manager rather than a elected tax official.
I mean, and that is, the best way to describe that to the public is exactly what Steve said.
Okay.
The advantage, if you look at it as an advantage, that you would be assured to have a well-qualified person in there.
Right.
Pat could,
And I understand, that makes sense.
I don't know if I agree with that, because, say, a majority of council just doesn't like this particular
And that-
person,
and-
just similar to management issues that we've had in the past. Now, you could be jumping tax collector to, or what do we call it, treasurer to treasurer,
No, you're right.
on a yearly basis. And I think we're putting politics in instead of allowing the residents to have the choice. Okay, I am through.
I agree.
Mr. Arsenko, you had a comment.
Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. What I'd like to say about this is that I would just ask my Fifth Ward residents to vote no. Just for the simple fact is, I think Steve brought a good point up. Mr. Fulkerson, let's take him out of it. The tax collector is a position that he only answers to the residents. There should be no politics involved, and everybody knows, as much as we try to keep it out of here, it's alive and well. That's just the way it is. That's just our world that we chose to volunteer, and you voted us in for. So I would highly recommend my board, I can only speak to my residents, you all can speak for your own, vote no. Please vote no. I think it's a great position. He answers only to the residents, and just look at how good it is going. Again, I think it's been set up here enough. It's working like a fine-tuned motor. The old saying is, if it's not broke, please don't fix the damn thing.
And if the residents don't like it, they can correct it at the next election.
That's exactly right.
And I agree with the mayor, keep the politics out of it.
The former mayor.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
that's
excuse
what
me.
he meant.
The old mayor. Nick,
The
Nick,
old mayor,
the old mayor.
There we
I'll
go.
take it.
Get
Sorry.
politics out of your
Oh,
comments.
I apologize.
No problem, no problem.
What, for
I didn't
what,
mean to
calling
put you in
the
the
old
same
mayor?
seat.
Wait a minute, for calling me the old mayor, the apology, or
Yeah.
to him?
No, I apologize to the new
Oh,
mayor.
forget about me, right?
Well, the old mayor, yeah.
Just kidding. That's
Hi,
it,
folks.
I'm
Well,
done.
yep, we have, that is, we kind of got off track on our, we are not even into our council comments yet, but, you know, these items, you know, we got to get as much information out to the public as possible. Sometimes these things do come down to the 11th hour, but council did review this several months ago, and we approved it, and this was recommended by the committee. But please contact your representative, your council person, or me, Mr. Little. If you have any questions about these referendum questions, they will be on our website. They'll be in print at the library and at the senior center. There are multiple sources, and certainly if you have any questions, please ask them.